Hello. Today we are going to talk about communication within an organization, and specifically the communication within Flint Hills Community Health Center. A little information about Flint Hills Community Health Center. It is a federally qualified health center located in Emporia, Kansas. And about a year ago, staff was informed that we were in a dire financial situation. The current CEO, the CEO at the time left, and we were told we had about 6 days cash on hand. So that meant we had to make drastic changes and make them immediately, or we would shut our doors. One of the first steps to this was to, of course, cut back activities. And to staff, it felt like all the activities that were cut back were ones that were directed towards them. We usually had a Thanksgiving dinner that was catered by the company that was cut. We didn't have the same type of Christmas parties. We had a potluck Christmas party instead of one that was catered. Even small things such as coffee and tea and fresh fruit for infused water that was once provided by the facility was taken away from staff. So all staff felt like they were being targeted directly. And this caused a lot of discontentment and dissatisfaction among staff. And our board of directors got wind of this. So they took the time to have an all-staff survey given to everyone to see what areas staff were most unhappy with, and to hopefully find a solution to help the morale at Flint Hills Community Health Center get back to where it should be. Within this staff survey, the biggest area of concern seemed to be communication. Staff was not satisfied with the level of communication. Staff was not satisfied with the amount of communication or the timeliness of communication. So as we look at communication, the most logical place to start is to find out what the definition of communication is. And according to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, communication is a process by which information is exchanged between individuals through a common system of symbols, signs, or behaviors. And when we think of communication, we usually think of speaking to someone. But that is not the only form of communication. There's also written communication, which could be emails or memos, a Post-it note, or text messages. That can be written forms of communication. And there's also nonverbal, which would be your body language, your facial expressions, things of that nature. So verbal or oral communication is not the only form of communication that you have to focus on. So in this problem of communication at Flint Hills Community Health Center, they were stuck in the middle of a crisis. And that is what brought to light that there was an issue with communication. Like I said, there was financial cuts, there were layoffs, raises were taken. Well, we were told there would be no raises for the time being. So of course, that caused that spiral of discontentment. And staff felt like there was a lack of transparency. After the fact, we learned that administration knew for about 6 months that this was coming, but no word was told to employees. So employees now felt like administration was being dishonest. They were keeping information from them. And a lot of people feared for their jobs because they didn't know if more layoffs were coming or exactly where we were financially. So this caused the morale to drop, and in turn the productivity. As you can imagine, communication must be a part of the culture within an organization for it to be healthy and to be constructive. Communication has to go from the CEO down and from the CEO up. Everyone must participate, but to create that culture, it has to start at the top. But each and every individual must internalize that and feel that it is important to be part of the culture. At Flint Hills Community Health Center, we've seen small steps being taken by our CEO. Every day, she makes rounds, if possible, to all the departments to speak to all the members, to see how their morning's going, if there's anything that they need from her. Our board of directors created the Workplace Improvement Group, which is a committee that is working on different ways to improve the communication. Currently, the most recent project that they're working on is the creation of a formal communication form. That way there's accountability. That says, hey, there's a problem and I need you to address it. And then there's a place for employees to write their solution. And then again, this is a physical piece of paper that will hold them accountable instead of an email that, oh, maybe they didn't get. Or if I speak to you briefly in the hallway that, oh, you forgot. So that's one of the things that they're working on. But we also have to remember that listening is a part of communication as well. You have to be receptive to the information and to the methods of getting the information. Can't always resort to what's most comfortable for you or what you have been doing in the past. Sometimes you have to step out of that box and become an active member, an active participant in order for change to happen. And as we close, we have to remember that communication is an important piece of any relationship, whether it's coworkers or managers or supervisors to their subordinates, or with patients, or even within a family unit. Communication can make or break that bond. So we have to remember that we need to be able to communicate effectively and in a timely manner for things to be successful.